Hello, hello everyone. Rene Brent here from Rene Brent Hypnosis, clinical hypnotherapist, coming to you from my office in Maitland, Florida. And I'm back to you again on my Friday Facebook Lives, and I'm happy you're joining me. Hello, Melissa. Nice to see you again. And I want to check out how everyone's doing. When you get on, just send me a little note, something you want to work on, anything particular this week or challenging that you're having in this week through COVID-19. In our fourth week, this is my fourth week doing it, so this is kind of how I'm measuring all of this. And what does that mean, Melissa? Just everything? Everything's challenging. The theme of this week is going to be patience. How to have patience in the middle of such a difficult time. And how many of you are challenged with being patient during maybe boredom or the unknown? And I'm finding that a lot of my clients here in my office are really having challenges with boredom and patience, and it can be leading them into other behaviors that they don't want to. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but here in Florida, I come to the office every day. I'm seeing a lot of clients online, and so the internet's connection it's quiet or that sort of thing. So I have noticed through the boredom that I'm seeing in people that driving on the highway on I-4 and all of this construction that's going on in 2020, the people are driving crazy. I'm talking 90, 100 miles an hour in and out. So I am always been a very comfortable driver on highways, not afraid, but I really have turned into a defensive driver. I started with the construction, and then now it's moved into just watching for the people who are just ready to come in and out. And I was thinking, why is that happening? Why are people driving like this? What's going on? I've heard a lot of stories in supermarkets of people who are harassing other people who are in the store, saying, why are you buying all this? Or who do you think that you are that you can buy 3 cereals? I mean, it's just amazing that people are elevating. And I think it's because of boredom. And I'll tell you why I think it's because of boredom. When we're bored, we're not used to it. Again, I've said this before, we're used to living our life off the chaos and the noise around us. So the chemistry of many of us are not used to the calm energy of quiet. We're used to we're used to moving, right? So we often, when we're feeling a little bit bored, we want the chemistry of excitement. We want the chemistry of something. Some of us do that by driving our car too fast. Some of us will do that by picking fights in the family and nudging people and kind of hitting their buttons so you can kind of get a reaction. And because that chemistry elevates you, that chemistry of an argument or a chemistry of kind of putting your life kind of on the edge is it gives us a boost. It gives us like something's going on now, right? And so if you're finding yourself picking fights with people or driving too fast or worrying, like I've said before, I'm writing my book on worry titled Breaking the Worry Agreement. And hello everyone for joining me. I really appreciate you guys being here each Friday. I'm honored. Please put in anything you want me to work on this week. Any questions that you have, I'd be happy. This can be interactive. I'm always happy to take this wherever it needs to go today. So we're talking about boredom and trying to find patience. First of all, so you don't kill your children or your spouse, and that you can move through this in a healthy way. I really feel the next 2 weeks are going to be challenging, more challenging than the first 2 weeks for people. You can already start seeing it with some of the things that are going on in different states with the picketing or the people just being very verbal about how unhappy they are about some of the lockdown. And we know the science, we know what's going on. I'm not getting into that. This is not meant to be political. But know that you are naturally going to get bored. And when you get bored, your mind is going to look for something to elevate you. And you get to choose what it is. If is it going to be worry? If it's going to be overing, I have a lot of clients, I work heavily with addiction, and I have a lot of clients that are challenged right now in possible relapse. So I'm having to work very closely with my clients into making sure that they're aware of their triggers and aware how boredom is affecting them. And because boredom is very much a trigger for any kind of overusing, overeating, over, porn, over anything. I don't judge it. It's all a symptom. When we overindulge in anything, it's just our mind trying to help us feel better, to move us away from pain towards something a little bit more pleasant. So boredom can be that. Boredom can feel unpleasant for many of us. So, and if you don't want to embrace that, you're going to find a way to elevate. So worry, I tell my worriers, they're like meerkats. They're always looking for some kind of elevation. So if you notice about yourself or someone in your household now, because you're really seeing the people in your home, you're seeing their habits, you're seeing their isms and their triggers. Now, how you respond to that is very important. So pay attention to your own, because if you quiet down and then you elevate in some way with a worry thought or what if could haves, or how's the world going to get through this, you're elevating with chemistry, and that chemistry can be very toxic. If you do this, and you're probably starting to feel some physical effects from the last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, because that chemistry going in your body again and again is very corrosive. And it will, if you're having more aches, if you're having harder time sleeping, it's really because of the chemistry that you're producing through the day. So I want you to be very mindful of your chemistry. We've talked about this before. Pay attention to your body. Your body is talking to you. When your body talks to you, your subconscious mind is talking to you. So you have what you need. You're getting the messages. You just have to learn to speak the language. And we're not taught, it's not your fault how to do that. We're not taught how to manage extreme boredom. We're not taught really how to be patient with ourselves and others. We have a natural instinct called the inner critic in our own body, which can be very harsh. Sometimes it's called the parent ego. So how many of you have that negative self-talker in there that's kind of beating you up about things? That negative self-talker really is trying to help you to the highest. I have this in my book, How Big Is Your Butt? One of the chapters called Breaking the Ego Code. It really talks about how to start managing that inner critic, that inner child. The inner child may be the one that keeps going to the refrigerator when you're bored and trying to find a cookie or finding something, sweet, or doing something, because when things quiet down, we want to elevate. And sometimes we want to elevate with substance like sugar or carbs or things like that. I'm not judging anybody's way to get through this. And I encourage you not to judge anybody's way, especially the people in your home. Everybody's doing it the best that we can. Everyone's doing it the best that we can. But when you judge them, you're creating your own negative chemistry, you understand? So listen to your body. When the body is reacting in a negative way, it will talk to you with some kind of constriction. Now, we've talked about this before, and I want to talk about it again and again, because I really want you to understand when you start listening to that, it's your warning sign. So just think about, when you think about your challenges right now, or some of the thoughts you have about moving forward with in the next 2 weeks, we have another few weeks left of this. Where do you feel that in your body? Is it your chest? Is it your stomach? Some people feel it in their shoulders or their head. This is called the felt sense, feeling the sensation of emotion, energy, and motion. So when you start to pay attention to that and you feel that tightness or that heaviness, or some people tell me they feel like just something sitting on their chest or their stomach, and that's a warning sign. So you feed that. When you feel that and you feed it with more negative energy, you're just elevating, and you're corroding yourself with this negative energy. And if you keep doing that for the next 2 weeks, you're not going to feel so good when you get through this. So it's really about deciding who you want to be and how you want to feel physically and emotionally when you get done. And one of the ways you can do that is to pay attention to your body. So when it's tight, you know you need to do one of the techniques that I've been teaching for the last 4 weeks. All of those are on my YouTube channel, Rene, Brent, Hypnosis. You can go back. In the beginning is the discussion, in the middle are some techniques, and at the end is a meditation. So you can go and find some of the techniques that I've taught you in the past and use them, please. You're the only one that can shift this for you. I can be here each Friday and tell you how to do it, but you're the only one that can take care of you right now. Be your own best friend. Be your own best friend and listen. Now, when it's expansive, that's a yes. That's like, oh, I get it. So I want all of you there just to close your eyes for a minute. If you're driving or you're somewhere where you can't, don't do that. Always be safe. But if you imagine that you close your eyes, I want you to just think about maybe the person that you love or a place that makes you feel so comfortable and so safe. Go ahead, or maybe it's the day your child was born, or maybe it's you got married, or maybe it's the love. The love I have for my partner, David, and my children is just so, if I close my eyes, I can just feel it here, and it feels open and expansive. Go ahead and do that, and I want you to just connect to that. And as you're doing it, just breathe that in. Because your mind is remembering. The reason you open up and you feel open is because your mind remembers the love. And it's going, yes, positive chemistry. The chemistry you're feeling right now is awesome. So go ahead, breathe that in, exhale, and say a word that maybe describes that. Maybe it's love, maybe it's comfort, maybe it's home. I had a beautiful little 12-year-old who described the place as home. And it made me smile so much because he could anchor into that. This is called anchoring. So put your hand on your heart or do something with your fingers. And I want you to feel that feeling, and I want you to breathe it in. And as you exhale, I want you to say a word that describes it. Love, open, relaxed, confident, whatever it is. Good. Breathe it again. Exhale, really feel it. Exhale. Say that feeling again, putting your hand on your heart or some kind of movement with your fingers like this. Sometimes people do that. Breathe again, fully and completely. Let this feeling wash all over you. And as you exhale, say the word. Now, anytime you want to return to this feeling, whenever you feel the tightness, you can just close your eyes and remember the love, remember your children. Put your hand on your heart, breathe it in, exhale, and that feeling will wash all over you. This is an NLP technique, neuro-linguistic programming. It just helps you map these feelings and these emotions and anchor them in a new way. This is called anchoring. So whenever you're feeling a lot of boredom, or you're feeling yourself elevating or irritating the people in your house, or picking a fight, or worrying about things that you cannot control, if you feel that tightness, know that you can change that by doing an alpha sequence that we talked about, relaxing your tongue, your jaw, and breathing, but anchoring. Find what you love, put your hand there in your heart, breathe it in, exhale, and let that feeling wash all over you. Any questions about that, go ahead and put that down in the box. But this is called an anchoring technique. This is an NLP technique. And I want to go back to patience. This is not easy. This is a novel virus, right? Meaning none of us have ever had to deal with this. We've seen it in movies, right? Pandemics, but we're actually living through it. And you can either get about it, or you can just go into what we call neutral. I've talked about this before. So really start listening to your body, but be patient. We don't know how you're learning a lot about yourself. You're learning a lot about what truths you hold on that you've been dragging along through your whole life. You're learning what I call white flag or red flags, all the red flags in your life that you've been painting white, whether it be children or relationships or your job, right? Or your own habits. We tend to paint red flags white. I'm going to get t-shirts that make that. Don't paint red flags white, because you're feeling them now because you can't escape them. There's nothing. There's no chaos. There's no noise to avoid. So think about what red flags that you've been painting white. And this is an opportunity to really learn from it and be patient with your reaction. And I'm not saying you have to live in this all the time or you always have to gain awareness, but this is a real opportunity because your truth is showing up right now. And be very patient with yourself and also patient with others in your family because they're also learning to manage their own internal dialogue. So when you release judgment about how they're managing and you release judgment, can you see how that will be so much easier for us just to get through this? Because you're the only one that can decide how you're going to feel and be at the end of all of this. So just start paying attention to all of that, how you're feeling, what your red flags and judgment. Again, I talked about a little bit, which is your inner critic. A lot of you, many of you, most of you may be hearing that internal, but you didn't do that. And why are your kids acting this way? This must be your fault. You must be a terrible parent. You probably are activating the inner critic, which is a natural part of our ego state, right? And let me tell you something about the inner critic, the inner child, and the adult ego. They have the highest intention for you. They really do. If you've done any of my workshops or know my work, I teach you how to talk to that part. It's not like you have a multiple personality, and sometimes it feels like it does, but you have a sub-personality of that ego state, the inner critic. Most of the time when I do parts work with my clients in privately, the inner critic wants to let them know everything they've ever done wrong, any mistake, so they can be aware of it and change it, so they can either find success or happiness. So your inner critic really does have the highest intention for you. But guess what? You're the boss. Right now, it thinks it's the boss, and it's just created a way that it maybe worked before you in the past, but not now. I want you to start listening to that part and start changing the dialogue. So when you do one of my meditations or you do the alpha sequence where you relax your tongue and your jaw and you breathe, you're going into remember, you're changing your brainwave. That's all hypnosis is. Meditation is the same as hypnosis. Hypnosis is meditation with a goal. So when you relax, I want you to start imagining you're talking to your own part. I have all this in my book, How Big Is Your Butt? Cracking the Ego Code. Many of you already have that book, so go find it and reread it. If you haven't, then, find someone who has a copy or get it. I'm so happy all of you are joining me today. I really feel honored by that. So start in a quiet state. Ask the part, what do you want from me? Why are you here? How are you trying to help me? And then you start a dialogue. Remember, you are the boss. And this is like an employee meeting. If any of you have been managers, well, you have been if you have children, you're the manager. So you choose how you want this part to work for you. Maybe you want it to point out all the wonderful things it's doing for you. Maybe you want it to just be nice. Be a supportive voice, be your best friend, your cheerleader, whatever it is. But it doesn't know what to do because you haven't instructed it. Again, this is all up to you. You can change this, but start quieting that inner critic, because when the inner critic comes and you haven't managed it, you're going to want to do something else to avoid it, which is you're going to elevate and worry. You're going to start picking fights. Or you're going to just really not do constructive things for yourself. So start listening to the inner critic. The other part that we talked about a little bit is the overing part, the overeater, the over worrying, the over, drinking, whatever it is. I'm not judging any of it. Remember, it's just the mind trying to take you to somewhere that feels a little safer. In something like this, in this high stress level, especially for the next 2 weeks, I really believe that people are going to be challenged. So you have to be ready. Share this video with other people. People must be ready for the next few weeks because boredom is going to be at an all new high. So you put boredom with worry, woof, talk about overing things. And that part that's encouraging you, just do what you want, eat what you want, do what you want now. That's really the inner child. I want what I want when I want it because I need to feel better. That's the inner child. So the same way, if you're creating a habit of overing anything, again, no judgment. I know everybody's doing the best that they can. but you know you can do better. You know you want to feel better. Everybody goes back to old habits. You may even notice this with your children. They're acting out. They're, I've had children who I worked through not wetting the bed, and now they're wetting the bed again. It really creates some old habits, because if you're not in charge of what your mind's going to do today, it's going to find what it used to do to help you. So again, you're the only one that can do it. You need to be there for yourself, be your own best friend, but talk to the part gently that's sending you to the kitchen, or you'll avoid the salads but you want all the sugar. This is just you trying to create that dopamine and the elevation feeling, right? Or the drinker, or whatever, the smoker, whoever. I know a lot of people who start smoking again. They go back to old habits. Don't worry, you can get through it. You can get through it, especially with the techniques you've been learning in these last 4 weeks with me. This is a session with Rene, Brent, Hypnosis right here, and I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be here. So have a conversation with the part that's overing and just say, listen, thank you, but no thank you. We need to do this a different way now. And talk to that part about doing things a different way and asking it please to help you. Do it nicely. Tell the part of you that's overindulging or that inner critic, I know you're trying to help me. Thank you for trying to help me, but we need to do this in a different way now. We need to move forward. Again, it's hard to connect to these behaviors, these inner parts, right? These subconscious, unconscious parts when you're elevated. So if you're already in stress, or you've been screaming at someone and you go in and you're like, I want to talk and be part, why are you talking this way? It's not going to work. You're not going to connect. So you need to relax yourself first, doing that alpha sequence, relax your tongue, your jaw, breathe in, full breath out, full in, close your eyes, connect to that anchored part that's going to calm you down, that love, and really get to that. When you feel like you've dropped down a little bit, right? It doesn't take much to go into the alpha brainwave, the calmer brainwave. But when you do that, now you can connect and have a real conversation for change with that part of you that's bored, to that part of you that's picking fights, to the part of you that is driving too fast or overing. You're in charge, you're the boss, but it's time for you to now to get into the driver's seat and decide how you want to be, especially in the next 2 weeks, or however. I'm just saying 2 weeks, right? I'm calling this the pause. I like to live in the moment, so for me to move ahead 2 weeks is like good for me, because I'm only managing what I got here right now today. And some days are good, and I have to tell you, some days are bad. Yesterday, I don't know what was going on with me. I was feeling tired. I was feeling agitated. I had a lot of cravings for sugar. I was just not, and I was like, all right, what the hell, just be in it. So I took naps, and I, did the best that I could. And today I woke up and I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling really excited. Worked out with my trainer in the park, at distance, and it's awesome because I'm deciding how I want to be. If you're having a tough day, go ahead, be there. Yeah, and trust yourself. Be patient with yourself. Try not to judge yourself. But remember, as you move along with this challenge of COVID-19, you're experiencing the quiet of your mind, the quiet of your soul, the opening or the closing of your heart, and you're the one that's in charge of that. You're the one who's in charge of that. So you are the one that has to make the changes. Again, if you know anyone that needs this kind of work, you can send them to my YouTube channel, Rene Brent Hypnosis. I have, this will be my 5th recording down there, and they can learn some techniques to figure out how they want to manage through it. We don't want to judge them, but we want to allow people to make the changes for themselves. Any questions before I move on? I think we're going to, yeah, Gabrielle says it was a horrible day yesterday. Today's different, right? All you have to do is hold on to that hope and belief that things are going to improve. And I don't know about you, but I'm adapting and learning, and some of it isn't easy, honestly. But it is, and I'm challenged, and I know you are too. And that's not a bad thing. I tell my clients all the time, often when you feel, my clients are like, man, I felt so great when I left. And now, today, I'm feeling really crappy. Like I'm feeling really overwhelmed and crappy. And you know what I say? Awesome. because that means that you're shifting and you're changing. And when you're about ready to do that, it can feel very uncomfortable. So hang on, trust yourself, trust your journey, and move through it, and use your techniques to relax. If you're not doing some kind of meditation, right, there's a high price to pay if you're not managing your unconscious mind right now. There really is, because it can feel like it's running off to the races. Don't give in to boredom. Find another way to elevate yourself. I've never seen so many people walking, and I absolutely love it that so many people are walking. It makes me very happy, and I hope people continue that, because just the movement of your body and walking is so fantastic for your brain. Let's not even think about your body. I don't think anybody's walking right now for for weight loss or whatever. I think people are just walking because they understand that it makes them feel better when they get home. It breaks up the day. But the chemistry that you're creating is lubricating all your muscles and joints, especially if you have achiness from being bored and elevating into worry and such. You may find that your body's more achy. Just walk. It's really going to help. But the prefrontal cortex that you need is like miracle grow for that when you walk and you exercise. And that chemistry of that, hello everyone joining, that chemistry of movement really allows the prefrontal cortex to open up and activate and let you problem solve and let you figure out solutions as a challenge comes for you. So if you're feeling overwhelmed about how you're going to manage bills or the next few months, I would encourage you to go for a walk, come back, and then come back to it, because your brain is going to be more activated chemically to problem solve and solutions. Excellent. So today we talked about not judging yourself. We talked about being patient with yourself and others. We also taught about learning how to manage your inner critic, your inner egos, your inner critic, your overindulger perhaps right now. And talk quietly to it. Thank you, but no thank you. We're doing it a different way. It's a beautiful way to really start feeling like you're in control. I have my parts meetings all the time. We're in a room. I have what I want to work on, and we talk to the part and see, and everyone's in agreement. If I have an objector, then it's an opportunity for a conversation. But now I'm in charge, and all my parts know that I'm the boss. Sometimes I get one that's out of line, but I get it back in control. We talked about that negative voice. We talked about overing, deciding how you want to be, listening to your body. If it's a negative, we just anchored in something beautiful. You close your eyes. You find that space in your body or your mind where the love of your children, riding on a horse, whatever it is for you. I saw Tim's here. Tim is a beautiful, he plays a beautiful Indian flute, and I was at a network with him, at a workshop with him, and he played it and he turned me on to it. And it just brings me such joy and quiet in my body when I play my flute. And I just let all the energy out within music. It's just fantastic. So find something that really opens you up and that you feel, and anchor that in. Breathe it in. Put your hand on your heart, finger, and then exhale. And now whenever you say that word, whenever you're feeling stress or you're feeling that tension, go back to that. Excellent. Now, if there's not any questions, I want to go ahead and hello to everyone. I want to go ahead and do a meditation. I have something very special for you today. I've really been hearing a lot of my clients, many of my clients, say that negative inner critic comes and talks to you, especially when you're bored or you're not being patient with yourself. It's going to point out everything you did wrong. Why did you eat that cookie? Why didn't you go for a walk? Why don't you do one of Renee's meditations, right? Don't beat up on yourself. You are doing the best that you can. And I want to help you today by hearing something else, which is called the higher self. That part of you that knows that you can do better, or that you hear every once in a while that says, you're okay. It's okay. You can do this. You can sleep. It's all right. Just go for a walk. That's called your higher self. And the higher self is the highest part of you that knows that you're going to get through this, that knows that even if you have financial challenges in your family, that you're going to find a way to get through it, that you're going to be okay, that people are going to come to you to help you, right? Or you're going to open up enough to ask for help. That I want all of you to hear that higher self. And I'm going to do this meditation for you live. This meditation is on practicehappynow.com. This is the landing page for my book, How Big Is Your Butt? But on that practicehappynow.com are free meditations. One is for sleep, and the other one is this higher self meditation. Now, I'm going to be guiding you through a lot of different things today. If your mind is busy, that's okay. Our mind comes in and it'll go out. Just allow the thoughts to come in and out, like you're talking on the phone and someone comes into a room and you just say, excuse me, but I'm doing something else right now. That's how I want you to manage the thoughts that might come in while you're trying to relax and meditate. And know that I may say, you see your higher self in this pillar. I'm going to take you up a beautiful hill. It's going to be very intricate and beautiful. This is one of my favorite meditations. I like to go up there and make sure that I'm still connected to my higher self on a regular basis. You may not see your higher self, and that's okay. I am not visual. I have friends, my friend Danny Fox, she just sees everything. She has a whole explosion of movies in her mind. I do not. But it doesn't mean that my process is less than her process. Our mind has just developed a way to process information and consolidate images and memories in another way. So don't judge how you do this. If you think about it or you have the intention of doing this, your unconscious mind will follow. You may not have a conscious awareness of the things that are going on, but trust me, if you're in a relaxed state, your unconscious mind is there for you and it's helping you. It's its job. So do the best you can today as we move into this higher self meditation that you can find at practicehappynow.com or turn anyone else onto it if you liked it. This is to help you hear that higher voice that reminds you that you're so much more than your actions or your coping skills. And so go ahead and get comfortable. Find a spot. You're not going to be disturbed. Good. Relax. Just breathe through. Excellent. Beautiful. Now, everyone just get so. If you came in late, know that you can watch this on Rene Brent Hypnosis. This is open to the public. If not, you can go to my YouTube channel, Rene Brent Hypnosis. Send anyone there, and they can listen to all the recordings that I've been sharing. Sessions with Rene Brent Hypnosis. I love it. I love what I do. I have the best seat in the house, so everyone's comfortable. I want it. Close your eyes. You can go into a relaxed state with your eyes open if you feel more comfortable with that. But I suggest you close your eyes, and I'll tell you why. When we close our eyes, it allows us to go within, to release out, to associate inward is what we call it. So I want all of you to try and do your best to associate inward. Take a breath in, close your eyes. Beautiful. Good. Somebody did post the link to Practice Happy Now. Thank you, Hale, for that. And you can just go right there and get the meditation. Everyone breathe. Exhale, close your eyes. Good. Let's release the conversation. You're going to go set the intention of this hypnotic session to meet your higher self, connect to that inner voice that knows, absolutely knows that you're going to make it through this, that you're going to use your tools and techniques, and you're going to be the boss of that unconscious mind, and you're going to decide how you want to feel and think at the end of this. Connect to that positive voice within that's going to remind you every day that you're doing the best that you can, that you are worthy and deserving of a life where you feel quiet and comfortable and confident. Good. Eyes closed. Take a big breath in. Now open them. Find a spot high on the ceiling. Fixate all your gaze as if nothing else matters. As you're staring at that spot, take a big breath in. Exhale and think to yourself, relax now. Good. Right there. Focusing. Staying focused. It's okay even if your mind's busy. Breathe. Ooh, that feels good. Exhale and relax now. Remember, relax your tongue and your jaw while you're doing that. When you relax your tongue, you're relaxing those message centers. When you're relaxing your jaw, you're slowing down that stimulation of that vagus nerve. Good. Breathe and exhale. Relax now. Good. Breathing normally, staying there in that moment, focusing. I'm going to count from 5 down to 1. And when I get to number 1, you'll just close your eyes. Just relax and begin to let go. Permission to relax here. 5, fixating all your gaze. 4, staying in the moment. 3, eyes getting heavy and droopy, drowsy, sleepy. Keeping them open no matter how heavy they get. 2, big breath in. And 1, exhale. Close your eyes. Relax. Begin to let go. Put all your attention on your eyelids. Make them so very heavy and so relaxed. They feel as if they just do not want to work. Imagine that for now those eyelids are so heavy that you just can't be bothered with opening them. As you do this, you're letting yourself know you're the boss here. Safe to relax. Imagine that you try to open your eyes and you find that they're so relaxed, they just do not want to work. And when you're convinced they're comfortably closed down, stop trying. Relax your eyes, send a wave of relaxation down through your whole body. Relaxing, head to toe and skin to bones. Good. Now this is just the beginning of relaxation. And we're going to deepen it so much more. So in just a moment, I'm going to have you open and then close your eyes. And as you do, this will be your signal to double your level of relaxation. Go twice as deep within. Eyes open very briefly, close them back down nice and heavy. And double your level of relaxation. Go twice as deep within. In just a moment, you'll be doing that again. Your eyes will open and then they'll close. And you'll find how easy it is for you to go twice as deep. Eyes open very briefly. Close them back down nice and heavy. And double your level of relaxation. Go twice as deep within. Good. Now in this relaxed state, I want you to imagine that you feel a beautiful, warm energy on your body, almost as though you're in the sun. And you can feel that warm, healing energy shining on your body, relaxing you one body part at a time. And to begin, imagine that it's soaking into your face. Permission just to be present in this feeling and let this energy soak in to your forehead and your eyes and behind your eyes. Allow it to even move. Imagine it's moving into your brain and quieting those part of you that's challenging you in this pandemic. Just imagine that this energy can go and give yourself permission to quiet things down. Good. Let it move through your sinuses again, clearing. Let this energy move down the back of your throat and your tongue, your jaw again, relaxing with eyes closed. Eyes closed. Let this energy, you don't have to do anything, don't have to control this energy. Just allow as it moves through now in your throat, opening up your throat, reminding you every day that you're worthy and deserving, that what you say is important, that you are important, that you're valuable. Let this move through so you can speak your truth. Set boundaries in your life when you need to, especially now. Let that energy move down into your shoulders, relaxing. As your body relaxes, your mind begins to relax and your thoughts will slow down. Down in your arms and your elbows, forearms, hands, fingertips. Let that move right back up again into your shoulders. This wave of relaxation. Again, as any thought comes in, it moves right out. As any thought comes in and it moves out, a wave of relaxation will come over you. As you breathe in, this energy, this cool, relaxing, beautiful divine energy moving through your heart and opening up your heart to move to a coherence, to let things just slow down for you. It's okay, this is good for your body and mind to slow down, to move into neutral, relax your tongue, your jaw, nice, easy breaths. So it moves down into your upper, middle, and lower back, every muscle, nerve, and fiber, relaxing, releasing, letting go. You don't have to control this. Trust what comes up for you. Every time you do this, every time you take a breath, your body will relax. Remember, it doesn't take much to get into that state. Let it move down into your lungs, your bronchioles. We want to send this healing light into our lungs, opening up, clearing and releasing anything that's in the way. So our body is strong and healthy, and we feel in control. Let this energy move down with every breath into all your internal organs. Let it move through any areas of your body that may need attention, your liver, your stomach, your gut, your bowels. Just let it move through there. You don't have to control this. Just set the intention that it go to any part of your body that needs attention, and your mind will find a beautiful way to do that. Trust. Again, this is all a pencil sketch as I move through this. If you're off in another state or another place, go for it. Let your mind take you where you need to go. Down, this energy moves down your hips and your legs, your knees and behind your knees, shins, calves, feet and toes. And allow this beautiful energy to move up again like a wave to the top of your head and back down again. With every breath, with every sound. As you go deeper, relax, just allow my voice to go with you. Again, if you go into deep and you don't hear me, it's okay. Your unconscious mind is listening, and that's who needs to listen. Beautiful. Now in this relaxed state, your mind opens up to beautiful images, perhaps, or thoughts. Your imagination opens up as you're accessing this, and everything you'll experience will be deeply embedded in your conscious and your unconscious mind. I trust you don't have to try, you don't have to judge. Let's just relax. Nobody wants anything, nobody needs anything. No decisions to be made. Now, as you feel that energy there, I want you to imagine or sense that you're standing at the top of 10 steps. Notice, are the steps wooden or stone? Is there a forest around? As you're standing at the top of the steps, perhaps you can look up and notice the color of the sky or the position of the sun. It's the perfect temperature. Perhaps you feel a slight breeze on your face. As you look at the colors surrounding you, maybe you see your favorite flower, smell that aroma, or the fresh air. Listen to the sounds. Maybe you can hear birds in the distance or trees swaying in a breeze. Maybe you just hear the silence of your own breath. Trust what comes up for you. Again, any sound you hear will allow you to go deeper and deeper. I want you to be there to see what you see, to feel what you feel, and to hear what you hear. Now, to help you relax even more, I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. Each number that you hear, you're stepping down and becoming more and more relaxed. Now, you can listen to my words or count along, but know by the time you get to the number 1, you'll be at the bottom of those steps far more deeply relaxed. 10, going deeper, deeper, and deeper relaxed. 9, down, 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 letting go. 8 and 7, more relaxed, more relaxed, more relaxed. If there's any part of your mind that's in the way, just ask it to move aside and give you the space now. 6, down, down, down. Being very patient with yourself now. Connecting to yourself in a new way. 6 and 5, relax. Relax. Relax as you're on those stairs with your eyes closed. 4, stepping down, 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 letting go. 3, relax, relax, relax. 2, deeper and deeper and deeper, eyes closed on the stairs. Breathing in and exhale on 2. Stepping down, 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 and 1. Stepping down, and you feel your feet on a path. As your feet land, notice the scene around you. Start walking. Each step that you take on this path becomes more and more clear. You become more and more relaxed. Trust what comes up for you. This is your journey. Trust what your beautiful mind is helping you with here. And you notice that the path might go a little to the right and a little to the left. As you walk, maybe you notice the sound of a stream, or maybe you can see a stream. Notice how the sun is beginning to traverse the sky as time is moving, but you're comfortable, your body's relaxed, your mind is relaxed. Perhaps you notice that as you move, it becomes closer to dusk. You get to the edge of the forest. Every step brings you closer. Good. And you see a grassy meadow. And you could see rolling hills and mountains in the distance. And the sun starts to create beautiful colors in the sky. Notice the oranges and the reds. It's quiet. Your body is quiet. Your mind is quiet. Permission just to be. As you notice these colors, you see as the sun is beginning to set, becomes more and a little bit more gray, but you feel safe and comfortable as night begins to fall. Stars begin to appear in the night sky above. And you notice a very simple and clear crescent moon hovering in the night sky, sensing the stars, the deep, rich blackness of the sky, lost in your own journey, but safe, comfortable, curious. Now you notice in the night sky, it's dark, right? You look ahead, and on top of one of the hills, there appears to be a light, something moving. Something as if you're getting closer, you notice what looks like a flame. It seems to move a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. Sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down. You put your attention on this flame, noticing that you're started to go up a hill, curious about what it is and where it came from. And you effortlessly go up the hill. You get closer to the top and you see where the flame is flickering. And as you get to the top, you notice there's a circle of pillars, very ancient stone, forming a beautiful circle. And there is a torch held in the hand of someone who's doing some form of dance. And you get to the edge of this circle of pillars, and you're curious and you watch. You stop and you look and you notice. There's a beautiful being holding this torch, who's doing a dance that you've never seen before, majestic, divine. And the more you look, the more things become clearer. You start to notice that this is your higher self, holding the space for you, dancing this dance. Notice what this higher self looks like. Trust what comes up for you here. Notice how this being is dressed, the way it moves so effortlessly, so easily, with grace. How the torch moves as if an extension of the arm holding the torch. Your higher self dancing and moving, and you're standing there watching, curious. On the next turn, when your higher self moves towards to face you, this wonderful being stops and sees you standing there. Your higher self stops and puts down the torch to its side, and this wonderful being looks at you with such a gentle smile, but yet a hint of sadness. In those eyes, your higher self shows you unconditional love, but yet the sadness. Your higher self takes one step towards you, and you take one step towards your higher self, moving towards each other in this beautiful, graceful dance. one step at a time. You're gaining more awareness, so more clarity, until your higher self is face to face with you, reflection of you. Yet you, in the most glorious way you can conceive of yourself, your higher self puts the torch down and illuminates the space that you're both standing in. Your higher self reaches for your hands and you extend your hands, and they feel very real. You feel the warmth and the softness as you look up into the eyes of your higher self, however it is presenting itself, this being. And you see, gazing back at you, a sense of love, unconditional, a deep compassion, a knowing you the way no one has ever known you before. And there still is that hint of sadness. A communication begins as you gaze into those eyes, and your higher self begins to speak with you, not necessarily with words, yet there's a communication as you start to hear in your own mind the words of your higher self saying, I've been waiting for you. I've been here waiting a long time for this moment. You've gone off on many journeys. You've had many experiences. You've experienced pleasure. And yes, you've experienced challenges and pain. You're coming to me now with your hurts and your fears and worries and your anger, even your guilt. And then you start to understand that slight sadness that's there behind those beautiful eyes staring at you. That your higher self has been waiting for this encounter. You communicate back to your higher self as well, perhaps in a way that's nonverbal. Your higher self simply knows your thoughts as you say, I too have been waiting. I may not have known what I was waiting for, but in my heart I felt it. I have been wandering at times. I have felt lost. I have felt confused. I have known pleasure and love. And yes, I have felt pain. And yet I bring to you now all that I feel, all that I am with my hurts and my fears. I'm bringing them to you, my higher self. And it feels safe to express that. Higher self understands. And now it's time for the dialogue to begin. You speak to your higher self about how you feel and listen and wait for a response. Ask a question, trust your first impressions, and you will receive a response. Take your time now as I'm quiet, as I'm silent. Ask and share and listen and receive the information you need from your higher self. Trust what comes up for you. Your higher self is here to remind you, to gently communicate, perhaps that you have forgotten who you are, the true essence of who you are. You thought you were that in those experiences and those challenges and those hurts, but you are so much more. You have bought into limitations or idea of lack or even fear around our recent experience with the virus. But yet your higher self is here to remind you there is truth, there is a truth to who you really are. None of those false, painful beliefs, none of those are your truth. None of those beliefs are real. And it's now to let go of the emotions of fear or anger or guilt. Whatever's in your way, they're so corrosive to your mind and your body. Let go and choose to forgive self and others. It's suggested to you by your higher self. It's time to forgive and let go of anything that could be harming you. This isn't about them or the experience, anything that's harming you. As you're being asked to choose forgiveness and to choose love, take a moment to be with your higher self and see how you're responding to these thoughts. As I'm silent, listen. This is your truth. Your higher selves remind you, whenever you experience yourself as anything but happy or joyful or difficulty getting into neutral during challenging times, ask this one question: what am I forgetting right now? Take a moment to receive the answer that to your higher self, as it shows you the love, the unconditional love that's always there for you. This is your truth. All the sadness seems to wash away now from your higher self as this being gets to share and extend love to you, and you're overwhelmed with this love pouring out to you right now. Remember this, your higher self communicates. Remember this love, remember this light. Remember who you are. That you're not that, you're this. You're only here to represent this light and this love. This is why there's conflict when you're not in it. Your higher self shares, I am always here for you. Whenever you need to remember, whenever you need to unlearn, whenever you need to forgive, whenever you need to remember who you are and your truth. I am here to help you with this process, and I will speak to you throughout the day, and you will remember to listen. Then your higher self reaches behind its back, and there in front of you appears in the higher self a box. A beautiful box that's closed. And higher self communicates. In just a moment, I'm going to open this box for you, and there's going to be a gift for you. It will be a symbol. There'll be something that's meaningful. But before I do that, I want you to hand over anything to me that you want to release. Maybe it's a experience or a false belief. Maybe it's an emotion. Go ahead, as I'm silent. Hand it over to your higher self. Release it. Disconnect from it. Let it go. Give yourself this opportunity to move to a higher perspective, a new connection. Trust what comes up for you. And feel that relief and that lightness that comes with just given permission to let it go. You don't have to drag it with you anymore. Your higher self smiles and tells you, you may not know what's in this box and you may not know what it means right now. But yet when this box opens, there's going to be an image in there, a word. So I count to 3. 1, you notice the box opening. 2, there's an item there for you. And 3, see what's in there. And notice that higher self hands it to you. It may be a symbol, a word. Notice what's there, this gift that's given to you by your higher self. You take this gift and you bring it back with you. And you can return to this anytime you wish. And so now your higher self tells you it's time for you to go back to your world, to go back to your experiences, but knowing something's different, it's not as it was. Special gift, and you can return to higher self whenever you choose. You never walk alone. You now walk with this mighty companion by your side, always there in your mind, guiding you, helping to direct your thoughts and your choices, your inner dialogue with yourself. Your higher self says you can always come back to this place. I'm here. And with gratitude in your own way of giving thanks, you begin to turn and walk out of the circle of pillars. As you do, the sun slowly begins to rise, moving up over the horizon. A new day, a new opportunity. And as you leave, you feel that sense of ease and patience with yourself and a new understanding. As you leave, you notice your higher self gesturing, sending you off with blessings of goodness and grace and reminder to remember who you are, your truth. As you walk down the rolling hills and the meadow, the sun rises, the circle of pillars begin to fade in the distance, and yet the voice of your higher self stays with you in your deep inner mind. As you walk light, you begin to get brighter, the sun beginning to rise, and you feel yourself returning to this space, to this body, to this time, but knowing something is different, knowing that you're in charge, you're not alone. When I count from 1 to 5, you'll come back, feeling that sense of connection to that inner higher voice, the higher self. If you want to just stay and relax, go ahead and do that. Ignore the following suggestions. 1, coming back more and more the sound of my voice. 2, clear-headed about your ability to move forward, to know your truth, to let go of anything that's holding you back, giving you strength to move through any challenges as we move through the next few weeks or months. 3, rested and refreshed. You'll remember this entire session, and you will hear that inner voice to remind you that you're okay. You got this. 4, beautiful energy moving through your body. And when you're ready on number 5, eyes open back here to your regular waking consciousness. Relax, enjoy your day, be patient, connect to your higher self, hear that inner voice. You got this. I'll see everyone next Friday. Bye.